Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Section B. Reading. Every success story is also a story of great failures. Failure is the highway to success. Tom Watson Sr. said, "If you want to succeed, double your failure rate." We know that failure is a stepping stone to success. Only very few of us, maybe the highly gifted ones, can achieve the success in one go. It's highly impossible to achieve the success in one go. So it's natural for humans to come across failures in the journey for success. When we come across the failures in our journey to success, we must not lose our heart. Rather, we must learn from the mistakes and move ahead. Now see the lesson. If you study history, you'll find that all stories of success are also stories of great failures. So, in this lesson, we are going to know about some famous achievers who had to encounter great failures in their way to success. But people don't see the failures. They only see one side of the picture and they say that the person got lucky. They generally say he must have been at the right place at the right time. What does one side of the picture mean? They don't understand the hidden struggles which the achievers had to face in their life. Let me share someone's life history with you. This was a man who failed in business at the age of 21, was defeated in a legislative race at age 22, failed again in business at age 24, overcame the death of his sweetheart at age 26, had a nervous breakdown at age 27, lost a congressional race at age 34, lost a senatorial race at age 45, failed in an effort to become vice president at age 47, lost a senatorial race at age 49, and was elected president of the United States at age 52. This man was Abraham Lincoln. So let us see his life journey again. He failed in business at the age of 21. He was defeated in legislative race at age 22. Actually, he was in politics and he failed in the elections at age 22. Again, he failed in business at age 24. Overcame the death of his wife, his spouse, at age 26 and had nervous breakdown. He went into depression at age 27. Lost a congressional race at age 34. This congressional race, senatorial race at different ages, and failed in an effort to become vice president at age 47. So all these races belong to elections. Again lost a senatorial race at age 49 and was elected president of the United States at last at age 52. Would you call him a failure? At last he achieved success, so we can't call him a failure. He could have quit. But to Lincoln, defeat was a detour and not a dead end. So let us see the meaning of detour, which is here. A road or route that is used when the usual one is closed. You can look at the meaning of detour here. A longer route from one place to another that you take in order to avoid something or somebody or in order to see or to do something. So, how can we make a sentence using detour? Because of the accident, we had to make a 5-kilometer detour. In 1913, Lee DeForest, inventor of the Triodes tube, was charged by the district attorney for using fraudulent means to mislead the public into buying stocks of his company by claiming that he could transmit the human voice across the Atlantic. He was publicly humiliated. Can you imagine where we would be without his invention? Triodes tube is used in consumer electronics such as radios and televisions till 1970s. Actually, he was charged by the court that he is using fraud means in his trade. Lee DeForest said that he can transmit human voice across the countries. But how is it possible? And he was publicly humiliated. But yes, at last he invented the triodes tube, which was used in radios and televisions. Without his invention, there would be no communication. A New York Times editorial on December 10, 1903, questioned the wisdom of the Wright brothers who were trying to invent a machine, heavier than air, that would fly. 1 week later, at Kitty Hawk, the Wright brothers took their famous flight. So, New York Times, the famous newspaper of that time, did not believe in the talent of the Wright brothers and published that how can they invent a machine heavier than air that would fly? It's highly impossible. But the two talented Wright brothers at Kitty Hawk, that was the spot where they took their famous flight. Colonel Sanders, at age 65, with a bet-up car, it was a very old car, and a $100 check from Social Security, realized he had to do something. He remembered his mother's recipe and went out selling. How many doors did he have to knock on before he got his first order? It is estimated that he had knocked on more than 1,000 doors before he got his first order. How many of us quit after 3 tries, 10 tries, 100 tries, and then we say we tried as hard as we could? He was Colonel Sanders, an American businessman best known for founding fast food chicken restaurant and later acted as company's brand ambassador. As a young cartoonist, Walt Disney faced many rejections from newspaper editors who said he had no talent. One day, a minister at a church hired him to draw some cartoons. Disney was working out of a small mouse infested shed near the church. After seeing a small mouse, he was inspired. That was the start of Mickey Mouse. While Disney was a cartoonist, he was rejected many a times by people, and people said he had no talent. Later, he was hired by a minister in the church. He stayed in a house infested by the mouse. By looking at the small mouse, he was inspired, and Mickey Mouse character was formed. Here's a good quotation for you. Successful people don't do great things. They only do small things in a great way. We can understand this from Walt Disney's life. One day, a partially deaf 4 years old kid came home with a note in his pocket from his teacher. Your Tommy is too stupid to learn. Get him out of the school. His mother read it and answered, My Tommy is not stupid to learn. I'll teach him myself. And that Tommy grew up to be the great Thomas Edison. Thomas Edison had only 3 months of formal schooling and he was partially deaf. Thomas Edison was partially deaf. He could hear less, and because of that, he was poor in studies. His teacher wrote a note in which she said that Tommy can't be taught. But his mother said, I'll teach my kid. So in his whole life, he did not go to school, but only for 3 months. That Thomas Edison became the inventor of the bulb. Henry Ford forgot to put the reverse gear in the first car he made. Henry Ford invented the car, but he forgot to put the reverse gear in the first car. That was his failure, but later he achieved success. The lesson will be continued in the next video. Jazakallah khair.